Hello, my name is Kevin Antosh. Over the last 15 years, I've conducted a lot of point-of-sale related workshop presentations at retail and museum trade shows, expos, conferences, small business development centers, etc. Also, literally helped thousands of retailers and museums across the United States find the best point-of-sale solution for their business. So what I'm doing is these videos are just kind of little excerpts from my workshop presentations because the whole presentation would be um, a little bit long and tough to do over a video without some in-person interaction. So today's focus is going to be a point of sale buying tip related to merchant services. And again, merchant services is, the fees and the service associated with processing debit and credit cards. And the reason I'm including this in my workshop is a lot of folks, when they're looking at a point of sale system, they're also thinking about their merchant services. And so it's good to kind of just at least touch on it because there are different options and different things where a point of sale system and a merchant services account kind of can work together. So pretty quick, we'll just be covering credit card processing options, and of course the new EMV compliance coming up in, looks like right now October of 2015. So merchant services. So basically, in most cases, and those of you who have a retail store, restaurant, or museum, you know this pretty well, but 90% of your customers will pay using a debit or credit card. So you need to have a merchant services account to accept debit and credit card payments. If you're kind of in that startup phase or just a small business, you don't think you're going to have more than $5,000 in monthly gross sales, Square solutions like that are the best. Your sales are not in that ballpark yet where it makes sense to look at, like a true point of sale system for tracking inventory and customers and things like that. But if you are over $5,000 in monthly gross sales, then it makes sense not only to be looking at a point of sale system for tracking inventory and generating reports and things, but also to be looking at working with an actual merchant services company that can offer you competitive rates. Square solutions like Square is just a flat rate. Again, it's perfect for those businesses not hitting that $5,000 threshold. For that $5,000 in monthly gross sales is kind of the sweet spot. And so what you want to do for merchant services is you want to get at least 3 quotes. It's a highly competitive industry. Those of us who have been in the retail business for a long time know that we get weekly, if not daily, calls and in-person visits from companies offering merchant services. The good news is if you play your cards right, you always get a competitive rate, and that will reduce your overall business-related expenses. So when you're looking at those 3 quotes, best advice, start with the bank or the credit union that handles your business banking. You can talk to, if you're in the Boise area, there's Abacus Merchant Services, or a lot of folks I've talked to have even shopped at Costco and gotten quotes on merchant services from Costco. Otherwise, there's probably 500 other companies. I hesitate to recommend one or the other because it's not a game I like to be associated with, and it's not one that I'm in. I stick to the point of sale side of things, not the merchant services. But ask around, ask other companies, similar to yours, what they use, or if you're in a strip mall, just go down door to door and see who they're using for credit and debit card processing. Some things that I have learned over the years: make sure that your point of sale solution lets you pick and choose and even change who you use for merchant services. Companies like Intuit's QuickBooks Point of Sale, Harbor Touch, First Data with Clover, they're going to lock you in to using one company for merchant services. What I found is, 1, you're stuck with them, and 2, that means they can raise your rates. Isn't that a joy to be knowing you'll be paying easily $1,000 more each year in unnecessary and higher merchant services fees for debit and credit card processing. Also make sure how quickly your funds are deposited into your bank account. Well, what you do, at the end of the day, if you haven't gone through this, you have to close out your point of sale system, and you also have to settle or batch out either the software or the hardware or however you're doing your credit and debit card processing. Once that is all tallied and done, the funds should be in your bank account within 1 to 2 business days. Shouldn't take any longer than that. Another critical thing, look for hidden fees. Best example, I was meeting with a little like a dance apparel store, and she was being charged, I think it was $10 a month for online statement access. So $120 a year to view statements online. There's little things like that where they can sneak in and try to get you for some extra money. So again, key points here that I really want to stress is when you're looking at the point of sale system, again, whether it's a traditional system like NCR Silver or Retail Pro or Microsoft RMS Store Operations, or if you're looking like at a tablet system like Bindo Point of Sale has been very popular lately, or NCR Silver, make sure they let you pick and choose who you use for your merchant services, and also if they let you change it down the road. So another thing, a lot of controversy over this, the whole EMV, which is EuroPay, MasterCard and Visa agreement, but I have to say, outside the US, it is the standard. So, and this is also realistically a way for MasterCard and Visa to make more money. So you need to take this seriously, even though it's more than a year away, depending when you're watching this video. But it's not something to be overlooked. So basically what it means is the US will be catching up with the rest of the developed world when it comes to the contactless credit and debit cards, meaning they have a little chip inside. You don't swipe them, you tap them, or you insert them, or you tap them and enter your PIN. So what that will mean is everyone will need software updates and new hardware to handle these credit cards. And that means everyone, even if you just have a little terminal, like when you go in to renew your driver's license and they swipe your card, they're going to need new equipment, not just retail stores, museums, and restaurants. So make sure that your point of sale system has a plan to meet EMV requirements and that there are any costs involved. It's one thing as folks contact me to review their products, I get calls and emails from companies. That's one of the first questions I ask. What is your EMV compliance plan for your point of sale software, your point of sale app, or your hardware? And it's interesting to see the answers. So far, Bindo point of sale has been the only one that has given me some solid answers. The danger here, what people don't realize, is you can ignore EMV and keep processing debit and credit cards. But what will happen is, if you have a security breach, think of Target and all the places that have been hit, you're going to be 100% liable for those security breaches. I can think of a church bookstore that was hit for about $2,500 in very small fraudulent charges. They had everything in place, so they're not liable. Under the new system, if they're not EMV compliant, they're responsible for that $2,500. Not only that, but you could permanently lose the ability to accept credit and debit cards, which would kill your business. I'm sorry, that may sound blunt, but 90% of your customers are paying with debit or credit card, and you can't accept that. You better have a lot of ATMs in your business, or be prepared for to see your business lose a significant portion of its revenue. And again, the tentative compliance date in the U.S. for EMV is October 1st of 2015. So that's it for this particular excerpt. If you have questions related to point of sale, if you need some free advice, if you'd like me to conduct my full workshop presentation at your event or your organization, I can be reached reached at 208-340-5632. I'm on Mountain Time. And email is kevinantosh@gmail.com. And then my point of sale blog site also has a lot of reviews, tips, tricks. It's not fancy, but just kind of trying to be a catch-all resource because there isn't much on there on the internet when it comes to point of sale systems for retail stores and museums. That blog site again is retailpospondering.blogspot.com. Thanks.